everybody, welcome to my video. Now in today's video I am going to be doing something different, and one of my subscribers requested on Twitter that I do a video of my favorite drugstore products, or drugstore foundations rather. So here it is, and let's just get started. So firstly I would like to mention that I do have a different variation of finishes in my drugstore foundation collection. So yeah, I actually don't even know where to start. So the first foundation I'm going to be talking about is the Yardley London Airbrush foundation. This is in the shade Caramel Fudge, and this is probably the closest thing that I have to my skin tone right now, because you guys know I love darker foundations, and I'll get to that in a second. Now this is an amazing foundation, especially for people who don't have a lot to cover, if that makes sense. So if you're just looking for a foundation just to even out your skin tone, this is the one. I wouldn't say it is full coverage, I will say it's light to medium coverage, but not even medium coverage. So it gives you just a little bit of coverage, but doesn't make you look cakey, doesn't settle into fine lines. And yeah, on a day where I'm looking for flawless skin and that no makeup look, this is probably what I go for. So just a forewarning, the foundations I'm going to talk about right now are questionably darker than my skin tone, and a lot of people will probably wonder why. So I'm going to tell you here from the horse's mouth. I discovered this tip about over a year ago, I would say, and I have not looked back. The first darker foundation I've ever bought was the Revlon Colorstay, and I love it, and I'll get back to why I love it in a moment. But I find that on my skin, if I use a foundation that's my exact same skin tone, it emphasizes my blemishes, my hyperpigmentation. It just doesn't look nice on the skin, in my personal opinion. And I kept wondering, I wondered for maybe over a year or so, why doesn't foundation actually cover the dark spots? And then I realized the trick was to actually get a foundation that's just a little bit darker than my actual skin tone. Personally, this is what has worked for me, and it actually doesn't make me look that dark because I still contour and highlight to the gods. So when you use a darker foundation, you contour and highlight, it kind of evens out your complexion, and I find that I'm so much happier with a darker foundation than I am with one of my skin tone, because none of my redness shows through, none of my pigmentation shows through, none of my blemishes, when I do have them, show through. So yeah, I hope I'm making sense and not rambling, but that's the reason why I prefer darker foundations. So moving on to the Revlon Colorstay. I got the shade Caramel, like I said, because darker foundations were really working for me. They still are. And I really love this foundation, you guys. I know I tried my friend's shade of foundation last year sometime. She had the Revlon Colorstay and I think Toffee, and I was meant to get Toffee, but I decided to get Caramel, which is darker. And now I think they've changed the formulation and the shades, so it may not be the same color or same variation or whatever the case may be is. But I tried those on and it looked so flawless on my face. My face stayed matte the whole day, and I have oily skin. I have an oily T-zone. I was sold on this product based off the fact that I had used it and I had seen such an amazing difference in the way my foundation lasted throughout the day. So yeah, I'm in love with this foundation. I really want to try out the new pump situation. I don't know if the formula's changed at all, but yeah, I really want to try out that. And yeah, I love the old version. Next is the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid. So this is in the shade Caramel, and it's still dark for me, but like I said, I don't have a problem with darker foundations. And yeah, I really like this one. I feel like it's not heavy. It's not heavy on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy. It's very lightweight, and yeah, it gives you a fairly good amount of coverage. When I use it, I get like a medium coverage, and yeah, I really like this, and it's bomb. Next is the Maybelline Dream Velvet Foundation in the shade Caramel. Now this is more of like a moussey, like a mousse in a squeeze tube kind of thing, and I really also like this foundation. This foundation is really lightweight. It feels like it's going to be thick, but once you blend it into your skin, it feels amazing, you guys. This is probably one of the best foundations I've ever tried from the drugstore. And even though it's a soft matte hydrating foundation, it doesn't make you look oily. Like, I've used this when my skin was really oily. I didn't have a problem, to be honest. It didn't make me look like cake face or oily. And yeah, it definitely gives you a really, really good coverage. I would say this is probably medium to full coverage. This one, medium to full coverage, and I really, really, really love it. So another foundation from Maybelline is the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse in the shade 55 Almond. You guys, I love this foundation so much. This also keeps me really, really matte, and a little bit of this foundation goes a long way. Oh my god. Now, you guys can see this foundation is like very orangey, yellowy toned, and I really love orange and I really love yellow tone foundations because it just brightens up my complexion. I can tend to have a very sallow complexion, and when I'm not wearing makeup, my complexion can look very, very, very dull, and I can look very pale sometimes. And a lot of people have told me when I haven't worn makeup, people come up to me and they're like, "You look so pale, like, are you sick? Like, what's going on?" I'm like, "I'm just not wearing foundation. That's the problem." So yeah, I really, really like yellow based foundation. It's very, very lightweight. You can build up the coverage, so this can literally be full coverage. Next, I'm going to be talking about the L'Oreal 24 Hour Stay Fresh Foundation. Now, I really, really love this foundation. This is in the shade 330, and this is also just a little bit darker than my skin tone, but you can't really tell because it just blends in perfectly. And I really, really, really love this foundation, and I would love it even more if only it did not settle into my creases. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed when I'm doing eye makeup tutorials and stuff like that, I always have my eyes like this to blend in stuff, and I have this expression line right here. And the foundation always settles in this expression line and these expression lines right here, which drives me mad. But the finish of this foundation is so stunning that I'll forgive it. I'll forgive it because the coverage is so stunning, the finish is so stunning. It's just that it settles into fine lines, which I hate. But I love the foundation so much. I mean, you've got to make a compromise. You know what I'm saying? You know? Next, I want to be talking about the Rimmel Match Perfection Foundation in the shade 502 Noisette. Now, this is the foundation that I'm wearing today, and I have to say I'm obsessed with this foundation. Again, it's just a little bit darker than my skin tone, but I don't have a problem. I'm okay, and it blends into my skin seamlessly. Like, you can't even tell that it's just a tad bit too dark for me. But this foundation is amazing, you guys. The coverage is insane. And this has like a 24-hour moisture hydration system kind of thing and a pore blurring effect. Out of all these foundations that I just talked about, I have to say Dream Matte Mousse and Rimmel are my top favorite. I love these two so much. So yeah, these are my favorite foundations from the drugstore, and I do believe that these both each cost like less than 200 Rand, which in actual fact is absolutely insane. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, like my video, share with your friends, and all that great stuff. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Also, don't forget to request any other videos that you guys may want to see. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!